What's up, everyone? My name is John Galan, and I've been wholesaling real estate for about 3 years, have closed over 250 transactions, and I have never lost a dollar on earnest money deposit until about last week. So I had this property in Miami, and I was going back and forth with buyers and these agents, and we had a buyer that walked the property. He wound up calling the agent directly and said he'll buy it from this agent at, let's say, 750, and I was under contract at 770. So the agent called up and we just told her straight up, like, yes, this is what's happening. We had already tried working a retrade down to 730, and we had come to an agreement already on that before the buyer had called. So now the buyer called directly. We spoke to the agent. We said, listen, like, this is what we're doing. We couldn't get anybody else. We had to be lower. We'll handle him. We have no problem, get it done. We'll make sure that this happens. So she's like, listen, I don't care if you guys are making money on this. That's fine. I just want to get this done. So we were on the same page. She knew we were signing the deal, and we had told the buyer, the agent knows and she doesn't care. So the buyer was fine. He was going to go through us. So the agent sends me the addendum to sign. I didn't sign it just yet because I wanted my buyer to sign the assignment first. And at first he was having his attorneys review everything. And after we got the green light from him, he was going to tear this down, and it was in a historic district in Miami. So I was like, all right, perfect. We're good. Because I know in Tampa, you could tear down. It's almost easier to tear down properties than flip them in the historic districts in Tampa. However, in this Miami district, I found out later on that it's the exact opposite. So he gave us the green light. We had wrongfully assumed that he knew what he was doing about tearing down properties in this area because he did so much activity in the market. So he gave us the green light, like, hey, we're good to go. So I then signed the addendum. And once I signed the addendum, the inspection period was already over. So that was on a Friday. And I had to sign the price drop. I'm here thinking we're going to make $20,000. All is great. He didn't sign the assignment yet. And he told us that he was just waiting for his attorney to review something or somebody on his team to just confirm that they could tear down. And after I saw that, I got a little nervous. We find out on Monday that this is one of the most restrictive areas in Miami and that you essentially cannot tear down the homes. It's almost impossible to. So once we found that out, we talked to the buyer, we got a new number from him, and instead of 750, it was now like 600,000. So we called the agent, we let her know everything. Hey, we can't tear it down, blah, 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 blah. We have to be at, now 600 or below in order to make this happen for a flip. Or we could try to get the historic designation removed, try going back and forth. Nothing was happening. They were like, either you close or not. And I couldn't do anything else. We couldn't find it else. And the lien search came back and it was clear and everything was good. And I was like, damn, let's just get out in front of this. So I called the agent up. I had somebody on my team call the agent up and just let her know, like, hey, unfortunately, this was our highest guy. Everybody else we've gotten, this is all the feedback we've gotten. They're going to be below that number. And we're not going to be able to make this happen. So we'll cancel. We're not even going to try to fight anything. We'll release our 10K to your seller for all the time and everything that they put into this and you put into this out of good faith because we tried to make this happen and we just couldn't. And that was an oversight on our part, and we apologize. They were fine. They were receptive to that. Seller got their 10K. I lost 10K, but I learned something else. If there's anything in a historic district, if you're about to take a chance on a deal, make sure that you know what your buyer's exit strategy is and confirm that you can make it happen. If not, don't be in a rush to sign the addendum. Tell the agent, hey, this is an historic. I'm going to be assigning this one. My buyer's going to be doing this. I just need to verify with the city that this could be done. And if so, I'll move forward and sign the addendum. If you lose a deal because you couldn't verify in time and they wanted to move forward with somebody else, maybe it's worth the risk. Maybe it's not. That's something you have to decide. We decided it was. Unfortunately, if I would have known about this before, I would not have risked it if I knew his only exit strategy was to tear down and you couldn't do it in this area. So if you're going to risk EMD, just make sure you know the exit strategy and you confirm that it is possible to do the exit strategy in that area, especially if it's a historic district. Learn from my mistakes, learn from my $10,000 mistake. Don't make the same one I did, and do your due diligence on that exit strategy before risking your earnest money. The other thing too is what I found, like when you're in a pinch, sometimes you get called out and things from buyers to agents. Honestly, when you're transparent, everything is easier. When you try to lie about stuff, that is when it's going to come back to bite you in the ass. So anytime, we just are always transparent. We told the agent exactly what we're doing. We were even going to throw her an extra 5K of commissions if we were able to get it done, but we weren't able to. But when we were transparent and explained everything that we were doing, they didn't care. She didn't care. She was on the same page as us. She felt bad for us that we were losing the 10K because the buyer misled us on what he was going to do. So transparency is key on that. So that's another learning lesson that I got from this deal.